Welcome to EduRev.
Hello and welcome to the last part of the Preamble lecture. In this lecture, we will be discussing some important facts about the Preamble and the importance of those facts from the examination point of view. Let's start. Now, the key values of the Preamble, as you can see in your NCERT book, is justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. Understanding these four is just as important as understanding sovereign, socialist, democratic, republic, secular. Our constitution talks about, or the preamble talks about justice of what kind? Of three kinds: social, economic and political justice. Pretty self-explanatory. Justice means that you should get your due. You cannot be discriminated against socially. You should have justice if someone has deprived you of a social value or anything in the society, you have the right to come back. Economic justice, political justice, because all these are essential for having a healthy and an enriched living. Then comes equality. Now, equality in itself is extremely important because equality is not a concept that everyone understands well. Aristotle very famously said, equals should be treated equally and unequals should be treated unequally. I'll give you an example. If I commit a murder, I will be arrested. But if the President of India or the Governor commits a murder, they won't be arrested. उनको immunity मिलती है क्यों? Because me and the President or the Governor, we are not equal. हम equal नहीं हैं. अगर दो लोग equal होंगे तो उनको आप equally treat करोगे. If two people are not equal, you cannot treat them equally. I'll give you one more example. Let's say there are 4 people. ठीक है? Person A जो दिन में 100 rupees कमाता है, Person B जो दिन में 50 कमाता है, Person C who earns 60 rupees और Person D who earns 80 rupees. ये per day है, right? Now the government conducts a study और government की study से ये पता चलता है in India if you have to survive आपको 150 rupees per day चाहिए ही चाहिए होंगे. And government says we will support those people who don't have 150 rupees. So how will the government support them? To A, government will give 50 rupees. To B, government will give 100 rupees. To C, government will give 90 rupees. And to D, government will give 70 rupees. Now, is this equality? क्या ये equality है? If you actually see, government is not helping them equally. Government is helping them unequally, right? किसी को ज़्यादा पैसे मिले, किसी को कम मिले. But is this equality? This is indeed equality. Because the concept of equality is people who are unequals to begin with, जो शुरुआत से ही unequals से एक जैसे नहीं थे, they have to be treated unequally only. उनको आप unequally ही treat कर सकते हो. They cannot be treated equally. जो दो equal होते हैं उन्हीं को आप equal treat करोगे. Then we have liberty, an extremely important concept in any modern democracy. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship. All the citizens of India have to be given liberty of thought. जो ऐसा सोचना है सोचे. Government will not force them to think in a certain manner. Liberty of expression means you can vote for whoever you want. You can express yourself. Liberty of belief, faith, whatever your religion is, whatever you have to believe you can. And liberty of worship. Now remember, none of these are absolute. इसमें से कुछ भी absolute नहीं होता है. Absolute means all of them have certain restrictions. For example, if I am following a religion that tells me किसी और को जाके मारूं, तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि अरे मेरे को तो freedom of belief है, मैं किसी को जाके कुछ भी करूं. No, that is not what happens. Your freedom should not interfere with someone else's freedom. There is a very famous saying, your freedom to move your hand stops when you start hurting someone else. आपको हाथ हिलाना है, बिल्कुल हिलाओ भाई, मेरी फ्रीडम है. लेकिन आप हाथ हिलाते रहते किसी को मारना शुरू हो जाओगे तो वो तो नहीं अलाउड होगा ना. तो your freedom is given to you as long as you don't interfere with someone else's freedom. And then the idea of fraternity. Now the idea of fraternity has been taken from France. French जो revolution था, वहाँ पे the idea of fraternity became very, very important and famous. It means that an individual deserves dignity. Individual deserves to live with others in brotherhood. इसे fraternity कहा जाता है. The feeling of oneness amongst the nation, the feeling of belonging to the same nation. इस यहाँ पे if you can see, integrity is a word that was added later on. socialist and secular are words which were added later on. They were not in the original constitution. Now, there are certain facts about the constitution I would want you to remember. Number one, the preamble page and all the other pages were designed as we had seen in the very first slide. The borders of the preamble page. I'm sorry, but I'm not really an artist, but I'll just try this for you. So these borders of the preamble, all these borders of the preamble have been designed by Beohar Ram Manohar Sinha from Jabalpur, a renowned artist. Apart from that, the adoption of the constitution was done on 26 November 1949. As I said to you earlier as well, the constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949, and that is the date mentioned in our preamble. On this date, some of the articles came into power. Some of the articles were enforced. For example, articles about citizenship, they were enforced. Another interesting thing, what were the articles that were enforced on 26 November itself? The list of those articles is given in Article 394. So Article 394 itself contains a list of those articles जो 26 नवंबर को ही आ गए थे enforce. But बाकी जो हमारे articles हैं Constitution के, they came into force on 26 Jan 1950. But जो date preamble में लिखी है, that is again 26 November 1949. The most important part, it was Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada, this gentleman, who wrote the original copies of the Constitution by hand. Amazing calligrapher. As you can see, the original copies of the Constitution were written by hand. So there was a copy in English and there was a copy in Hindi. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you come to Delhi, there is a museum of the Parliament where these copies are kept even today. They are kept in a box which is transparent box. It is filled with helium to preserve it, and you can still go and see it. This brings us to the end of part number 2 of the preamble. I have a couple of questions for you to test your knowledge. Part number 1. Which of the following has not been written in the preamble of the Constitution? Pretty easy to solve. The word Indians. Because the preamble says, we the people of India. So the word India is written in the preamble, but the word Indians is not written. Now, I am not saying that you have to remember the preamble, but yes, at least read it 2 or 3 times. At least enough time so that you know which word is in the preamble and which word is not in the preamble. So that if something like this comes up, you can easily solve this. Second, the preamble is important due to which of the following reasons? First, Supreme Court in the Berubari case said preamble is a part of the Constitution. That was in 1960. Keshwan Bharati case mein, the Supreme Court reversed the decision and ruled that preamble is not a part of the Constitution. Which of these is true? I'll give you, let's say, 10 seconds to answer this pretty easy question. The answer is D, none of them. Why? Because these are opposite. In the Berubari case, Supreme Court said preamble is not a part of Constitution. While in the Keshwan Bharati case, the court did reverse the judgment, but it ruled that preamble is a part of the Constitution. So here you are. It is D, which is the correct answer. Thank you so much for watching the video. EduRev Infinity is a platform prepared by the UPSC experts and has over 10,000 questions for your practice, made appropriately as per the level of the UPSC exam. Thank you so much for watching.